What's up, guys? My name is Raghu Adibala, and this is Talking Funny. Hey guys, my name is Raghu Adibala, and you're watching Talking Funny. I'm glad to be doing this again. Did it for a year, talked to so many cool people. Now we're starting up another year, and my first guest, this guy's hilarious. I've known him for many years. He's been doing comedy for a long time. Hilarious guy. I met him early on in my career, so we're going to bring him on right now. Mike Maxwell. What's up?
Hey, man, what's going on?
I'm good, dude.
I'm sure there may be some, some movie violations at time. All for the sake of comedy, right?
I just want you to be safe, which you are, which is good. This just reminds me of, I was just listening to one of your clips about driving and your car and you're having a crappy car and all that, which I think now it seems like you have a nice car now, which is good.
This is my wife's car. Yeah, I've upgraded it. I've definitely upgraded. I was driving a crappy car for a while. It's good to see you, man. You look good.
Yeah, good to see you, dude. You look good. It's been a long time. I'm glad we got connected again, and I wanted to have you on. I know you've been doing a lot of great things in your comedy, and but I wanted to first go back to when you started comedy. What made you decide to get into comedy? Can you take us through that journey?
The first time I ever did stand-up was in college. I was probably I think I was a junior. No.
Okay.
A sophomore, junior. Anyway, I was hanging out with friends at a movie theater. We were hanging out at a movie theater on campus or off campus, and I was just making jokes before a movie and at the slides, and my friend, he was like, you should do Second City classes, or you should think about doing stand-up. We actually have, a variety show coming. I was like, I don't think so. I mean, I did acting in high school, but I didn't do, stand-up or anything. So then my first performance was a variety show at my college. So.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome, man. You mentioned Second City, so you took some classes. You took some classes?
Yeah, I did. I've gone through, graduated writing, and then I also did the training and conservatory.
Okay.
And it was good. As you can tell, nice. I'm driving a minivan, not a Porsche now. So it wasn't exactly the most effective lesson, but it was still an effective lesson, I suppose. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, something great came out of it. You've been doing a lot. You've been doing a lot of comedy for many years, and I want to ask you about your research process into comedy. Like, you tried it out, you did classes, but when and then you knew that you were going to do this, and you were going to start doing shows. What was your process through that? Like, what as far as writing or even researching about comedy? Did you do a lot of that?
Yeah, I had my friends loved at the time one of the early albums of Brian Regan, and so
okay.
I mean, that was an insane comparison. There's no way I could starting out comedy come close to somebody putting together an album like that. But that was like the barometer of what I knew my friends liked, and so I just knew to just try and write about myself, and then go where I didn't have to bring too many people.
Okay, sounds good. And you're a pretty clean comic. Is that what you've decided to kind of just take that route?
I mean, I swear a fair amount in regular life. I do. It's very therapeutic, and I enjoy it. I do. and probably one of the scary pre-show speeches that Bert used to give at Zanies would,
Yeah.
always lean on like be clean and all that.
Right.
And I'm like, all right.
Right.
I also like Seinfeld. I also like Seinfeld a lot, and so Seinfeld would always just say that there was just more of a challenge for him in writing something clean, and there's challenge in writing anything, just writing anything good.
Yeah.
I think people need to. There is like an arbitrary riff between clean and dirty comedy. It doesn't matter, man. It's like food. Like, what do you want to eat tonight? Like, there's an appetite for everything. So, like, I don't hate dirty comedy. I wish I sometimes could just go up there and do it, but. I just wanted to write something good. I just want to write something good, So.
Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're focusing more on material, like writing good jokes, and whatever that may be, and that's what you're gonna do, and that's what you did. And I was seeing your clips. You're hilarious, man. And hey, if anybody out there hasn't seen Mike Maxwell yet, get out there and do it. Because you're really good. So you mentioned Brian Regan and Seinfeld. Are they like some big influencers in your life?
I think so. I mean, I've seen Seinfeld live. I haven't seen Regan live. I've seen George Carlin, but he was pretty much on his way out. He was pretty sick and all that. But but yeah, they definitely. Seinfeld had like just a great observation of the minutia. And Brian Regan is just ridiculously. He's very silly, and you can't get mad at a guy who's hilarious because he's silly. Like, I like him more than I like him with Gaffigan. Gaffigan's great, but Brian Regan to me just has more charisma about it. So
right. No, I get that. Now, last year was a crazy year for everybody, no matter whatever you were doing. But speaking directly to comedy, with the whole pandemic, when everything shut down, what was your thought process through that? What was your mindset going into that?
Well, I was bummed. There's a couple of things that I've been able to luckily get into an annual rhythm of, like, a couple, like, 3 or so, like, bookers are like, okay, once a year I go out to club out of state or something. So I was bummed about that. But I put myself on like a writing regimen to make sure I'm writing 30 minutes consistently, like 30 minutes a day for like 40 days in a row. And so even if it was garbage, right? Like even if it was not, even if it was just like free verse and there was no joke in it, at least I was writing every day. Right. And then like I filled almost like a notebook in a whole summer. It was so very easy. Once I got into that second week, I just wanted to write. My eyes were more open to humor points, and I was starting to write those points down and flush them out. And like now I'm going back and trying to beef them up and get them to be more suitable for stage. But it was the writing exercise I put myself in was definitely a good thing to do while we had everything shut down.
Right, exactly. That's great, and that's something that everybody will say. Write every day. And so, how much would you say from what you've written? How much would you say that you've actually are using and it's actually stage material?
I'm probably using 10 to 12 minutes right now. There's silos of stuff that I see how it's a puzzle piece together. Like, I got into this deep dive of writing stuff about sports, and I know it sounds really lame and mundane, but I found some of the stuff about sports, and now I want to write just one whole act on just sports. And so, like, I'll get to testing that later. But right now, I'm piecing the other new stuff to the current act, so that way that they have something to lean on as I flush it out. So, that's what I'm doing about it. So, I've started to push myself to put in like 1 or 2 new jokes into like the virtual shows because that's a very low risk environment. I mean, most like 90% of the people are muted anyway, so like you just look for the bobbing head. You're like, okay, I got 7 people to bob their head. So
I wrote like a half hour of new material during the pandemic, and that's all I did, testing it out. It was the best time to do it. I mean, You know, it's the best time to do it. Just some worked, some didn't, but you at least, and you're right. Mics are off, the cams are off, and you just you and your material. That confidence in your new material, that's exactly. You're on your way somewhere home.
No, I'm going to the comedy shrine. I'm doing my.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
I got a show tonight at the shrine.
That's what I thought. Yes. So that was actually my next thing I'm getting to is your show, The Anti-Boss. You've been running the show for a long time, and tell us about it. It's I've heard really good things about it. What is the show?
Hey. So the Anti-Boss is a mock new hire orientation. It is a very R-rated corporate onboarding, and so I do recruiting. I do recruiting in my day job, but I don't joke. Everyone's like, I bet you do a bunch of this, work jokes in stand-up. Like, no, I really do no jokes in stand-up. And then I wrote a whole show about how ridiculous corporate hiring and onboarding and everything. Everybody thinks the applicant is lying, and no one wants to acknowledge how much the company is lying to the applicant, right? And so I wrote a show where basically the sales manager walks these audience members through, as though they're new hires, everything that you would want to know about your first day on the job, but I call it all the bullshit. Like anything and everything from, like each department. I profile people. Like, nothing is safe. Everything is, like, everyone, like, for me, that's where I swear. That's where I swear a fair amount. I get some crowd participation. We do some improv. It's scripted, but we have some improv moments, which is fun. And then there's a lot of visual humor, too, that goes with the kind of roasting. It's like it's a corporate roast. It's basically roasting the establishment of corporate America. So
nice. Have you had people contact you after they go back and say, hey, I went back and I renegotiated with my company because I found out. But have you heard, like, I'm sure, I don't know if there's a way for that, but like, what do audience members, how do they react? Like, maybe after the show, like, do they say anything about your comedy and like how the experience?
Yeah. Yeah, they ask questions. Like, I actually end it with like a Q&A so people can ask questions, and some of them are like in the vein of the show, and then some people some people will actually ask like career questions, but I'm answering it in the character, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, they'll come up afterwards. I had one lady come up to me. She's like, oh, you should totally do the show for, like, she was working at KPMG, right? Big Four.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, she's like, you should totally do this show. I okay, where do you work? And she's like, KPMG. I'm like, okay, what do you do? She goes, I'm in HR. I go, did you not watch any of this show? Like, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, you would have to sign a release form. Like some people are like, you should do it for corporate. Exactly. I'm like, I would do it. Like, I think the show would be a lot of fun. The show would be great for like an entrepreneur group, like people who have left the system. But for somebody like Pepsi to hire me, Pepsi would, oh hell no. You should not. No, because I'm gonna call out the fact that everything he's doing is dumb. So.
Holy crap! Have people ever brought their resumes to the show?
No, I should get a way to bring people's resumes in. That would be nice. That would be a nice.
You're so right, man. Like, here, what can I do? Oh man, that's hilarious. It's a great concept. How did you come up with this? Like, to do this,
so
I know you're a recruiter.
So I've led some of the trainings for I worked for a larger staffing firm earlier in my career, like one of the big guys, and I did some of the training. I did some of the trainings, and the first few times, like, it's an honor and privilege to be selected. Then you get a little older, and you're like, I don't know if I'm really stirring the Kool-Aid here for you. I don't know if this is, and so I do it, and then I started to realize I was a little more skeptical. So then I was like, it'd be funny if, and then just from there, once I was, like, what if I just made fun of every slide we could possibly do, And then sure enough, I wrote my own. Like my slides are my own slides. I didn't take anybody's new hire training slides. I created my own. As of right now, I'm just short of 200 PowerPoint slides in the show. So
wow. Yeah. So wait, how long is this show? Like an hour or about an hour?
The show is 75 to 90 minutes. It's about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
It's legit. Like I'm happy with where my stand-up is, but I'm all in on this show.
So the Antiboss is at the Comedy Shrine first Wednesday, right, of every month.
Yeah, through summer. So July or June tonight's, and then July, August, and then in September. So
cool. That's awesome, man. Yes, guys, and I definitely got to come out. I got to check this out. I mean, I've heard about your show for a long time. It's really been doing really well. So, so I wanted to. Okay, so I saw a couple of your clips. One was from 2011, and one was from 2020. And I noticed in your 2011, and both. Oh my God, like funny, right? You're hard hitting, like you land like. But I noticed a difference. Your first in 2011, you were more physical. You were more like you were talking about like the spider in the laundry room and like the whole clip. Like you were just like very physical and just getting the audience. But in 2020, like your most recent, you were not as physical, but you were still just as funny. What did you decide to change, like to be more like mellow on stage, or what was how that difference come about?
No, I actually want to be more physical because I'm 6'5", and that's just an uncomfortable sight for people. And so like that works just to try and move, and people find it funny. So I try to do is I try to have different energy wavelengths, and so that set was more of like a low-key one. I don't want to be the comic that shouts his or her own set, the whole set the whole time. Like that doesn't do anything. That doesn't change. You don't take the crowd for a ride. You're just you're saying the same stuff.
Right. So. Definitely. No, it's great. I love your material. And you're a family man like me. You're married. You got kids. I want to hear about your dynamic. Like, what's it like for you being a comedian with a wife and 2 kids?
I have 3 kids now.
Oh, 3 kids. I'm sorry. I definitely did not do my research on that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Their digital footprint isn't that big, but it's fine. No, the dynamic is. The dynamic is good. I'll tell you, you can tell that your children, that you have kids of a comedian when you take them out of town and they eventually, at some point in the car, just ask what time your show is. Like, we finally went somewhere with my kids. I don't remember where. We went, during spring break, we went to a hotel that had a pool. And my oldest was like, so what time is your show? And I was like, I don't have a show today, bud. He goes, what do you mean? Why are we out? Why are we here?
Oh no!
And I'm like, you could be my manager. You could be my manager. Why am I not doing a show tonight? So.
Oh my God, that is hilarious! Oh wow! So like, dude, these kids pick up on it. They know the pattern. They know that your life is comedy outside of family life, and I know it happens to me too. Like every time I leave the house, it's always like, "Are you going to a comedy show?" I'm like, "Not always." I go to the grocery store sometimes to pick up groceries. Like we do other things.
No, I'm just doing a type 5. Just doing a type 5 real quick.
I know, man. Oh my God. So you've been in a lot of laugh festivals, and I know the Antiboss was in the Laugh Fest and Crossroads, so pretty big. Your show has been recognized. Pretty good. Tell us about being in that festival. Like, did you did a whole show in both of them? And
So when I first started, so the crazy thing is the show started at the Chicago Fringe Fest, and
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
2015, I believe, no, 2016, and that
Okay.
time I got to do the whole thing, right?
Okay.
And the crazy thing is there's no open mics for one man. There's no open mics for one man shows. So literally my
Right.
first night was one of the first times I ran it. And I was getting reviewed by the Chicago Reader, so it was
Nice.
an insane time. So that was cool. I got
Yeah.
a good review from the Reader.
Right.
When I did
Little bit of technical difficulties. It's all good. We'll get Mike back.
Laugh Fest, it was same for
Oh,
Sketch
there
Fest.
you go.
So
Sorry, you froze for a second there, so you just
sorry, I
froze
lost
a
it for
couple
a
of
second.
times there. But
Yeah, well,
you were,
you know, I'm back.
yeah. No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. What? So you were so the Fringe Festival. You didn't. There weren't many open mics for No One Man Show, and that's when you froze.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so
Okay.
when I did it at Fringe Fest, I had no practice. Like I wasn't going to be running a 60-minute show in my basement
Right.
for practice. So it was probably one of the first few times I actually did it, and so it was very much an anxious moment where I was running something relatively cold in front of people. But it was kind of an exciting time. So yeah. And then from there, I realized like, okay, I have something here. I have to fix. I knew what I needed to fix right away, and then from there, I just kept going. When I submit to festivals, I think you only get, you're lucky with the sketch category to get 30 minutes. So that's what I plan with. So
that's awesome. And I'm guessing your coworkers don't know about this, or do they?
Oh, they do. They do.
Okay.
They do.
What did they say about it?
Well, they love it because I call out the people who cut the donut in half, and there's a lot of women. There's a lot of women in my office that basically I just show up with 2 donuts for 20 people because they'll all just take one little nibble off of it. But so I make fun of that stuff. Nobody's offended. Nobody's offended by it because I tell them like, don't come to the show. Like it's alright. Don't come to the show if you're kind of soft about it.
Right.
So.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I love the concept. I love everything. You also were acting a bit. You were in an independent movie called Bird to Year. I read about that. I thought that's pretty cool. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got in one of the casting sites. It was local to the Chicago burbs. So that was just like it was nice. I've gotten on a couple student films. This was an independent one, but a couple student films also for like the DePaul film program, the graduate program. And it's nice to get put in like a dramatic role. And so some of those were dramatic, and all those students are like so smart, and they're all very serious about it. So like everybody who's doing tech wants tech to go smooth as possible. Everybody who's doing lighting, the same thing, and same for makeup. So for me, that was like a practice run for if I ever got a chance to do like a major production or get on a TV show. So at least I don't like look like a complete rookie.
Yeah.
So
is that something you want to get back into, like acting and?
Oh yeah, I would. I mean, I did a couple commercials in the past couple years that were, one was for like an online like pop-up ad, so some people might remember me. And then I did one that was for a car dealership. I shot in Downers Grove, but it was actually aired like it was in Virginia. So that was
that's cool.
Funny. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So I like to do that stuff. It's fun. So
yeah, nice, man. No, I love it. So now things are opening up in Chicago and everywhere. Did you do a lot of virtual shows? I know you mentioned it before. Was like the Zoom, and were you a big part of that?
I was. I got in with one company that was like a national company, and they gave me like 15 shows. So
nice.
I was doing a few of those. And then I did about 30 to 40 shows. And I normally do a lot of corporate stuff, so around Thanksgiving to New Year's, I'm doing stuff. and I had a typical run of corporate stuff because it was virtual, and that was a lot of fun. I had 3 days in a row where I stacked my calendar to the point where I actually kicked my family out of the house for 3 days. It was pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Dude, I was exhausted. I was doing comedy for like 6 hours a day. Like I was doing the act like over and over and over. It was awesome.
My God. I'm sure. I'm sure it was. These were probably like 45 to an hour, or these shows.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were about 45 to an hour. I had to do one that was a pre-recording, which was I was like, okay, that's a little off, but all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the clients that you did shows for. One of them was the NFL. Like you did comedy for the NFL.
I did. Yeah, that was the Ford and NFL, like the big kickoff. I did that 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
I think it's 3 years ago now. And so I was doing when they were in Chicago, they went out to Brookfield Zoo on Saturday to like drum up interest and stuff. And so I was like one of the event managers, and I got to I interviewed some of the players, past and present, and then I was on site game day. So I wasn't doing stand up, like.
Yep. Sorry, your audio cut out for a second. You weren't doing what?
I wasn't doing stand up. I was doing I was just doing like an event MC. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, you're definitely doing a lot with your career off stage as well, like off of the comedy clubs and that, doing all these like corporate gigs. And what do you enjoy the most? Like, what do you? Obviously, corporate gigs they pay pretty good.
Most of them pay okay. Some of them still pay like, whatever.
Right. What do you enjoy the most? Like, what is your true calling when it comes to stand up? Like on stage at clubs or doing, I
would like to be a club comic. I enjoy that experience. I had, I closed out doing New Year's Eve in 2019 for 2020. Like December 31st, 2019, I was doing New Year's Eve at the Improv Chicago, and that was one of the coolest experiences. And I like the club. The club setting is the best because the first rule is be funny, and then the rest of the stuff falls into place. When you do corporate's great, but corporate has different rules. Corporate has don't touch this, don't say that, don't go there.
Yeah,
and that's true. And that's fine. But I like the trust of the club environment. So the comics just go be funny, right? Go be funny, and then we'll go from there. If you suck, go home.
Right. Exactly. What would your advice be for somebody who's starting out comedy? I know there are people who started out during the pandemic, which is pretty ballsy, I think. It's a really interesting time to start, but
I think my advice is, find a couple spots that you can consistently get to, and get into a rhythm of writing. Like don't agree. I agree with people that you don't find your voice for a while. So don't necessarily say you have to be an alt comic or a clean comic or whatever. Just write, say different jokes, do different styles, and then once you start to see consistency of what you're getting the response on, and then start to go there.
Right.
But the key to anything is consistency. So you just gotta keep writing and go out. Get ready for the crappy. Get ready to get paid in pork chops. That's my advice.
That's right. I love it when they're sometimes comics will be like, "Hey, when am I going to make the big bucks?" I'm like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years. I don't know.
when you stop performing and open up another business. So.
Right. You hit on an interesting point about finding your voice. When would you say you were like, okay, this is a comic I'm going to be. Like, I'm finally in my zone about writing and I know what I want to do?
I think once I started to make significant life choices, then I had I had something worthwhile to talk about. Like, you know, I don't need to always talk about my kids, but like that's a huge life choice. It's as is getting married. Like once I chose to get married, my material transformed from, hey, what's up with that food company, to to being like an experience driven observation rather than just a third person. So for me, that's what I think, that's what clicked. And then also, I grew up being sarcastic. Like my brother, sister, and I were very sarcastic to each other. I think once I started to let that out a little bit and not be worried. Like I'm not gonna drop F bombs in my set, but I'm gonna be pretty sharp at you. You're gonna be like, oh man, that was a hit. He was coming at me, like so. Because that's how I was raised, right? Like you had to shut somebody up when you were a kid in the 80s, right? Like you had to, you don't let people, run you all over. So.
Right, exactly. No, I get it. I was reading more about you. The Third Coast Review. They said that Maxwell is a guy you can't help but like, and his relatability and charm and are immediately obvious in his set. So they found you very relatable to, you talk about relatable stuff. Is that something that you wanted to do? Like that's some comedy you wanted to focus on, was relatable comedy?
Well, I think I didn't make 100% conscious effort of it, but I think that's just my nature. Is I try to be inclusive. I just try to be inclusive about it. I never had a stretch of my life where like I felt like it was my way or the highway, or I was doing something so unique. I always just felt like I was part of a group of friends. I was part of a group of siblings. Like I never felt like I needed to do some isolated topic, in my opinion. So
that's my son that's just walked in. So obviously now he's in the picture now. Hold on.
That's perfectly fine. Ask him if he wants me to put a DVD in the van. I can put that on.
Oh man, your van is loaded, huh? I see it right there.
Yeah, there it is. That's right.
That's awesome, man. You guys take long road trips in that?
We've done a couple. And needless to say, the DVD player doesn't mean crap if the headphones are broken. Like if the kids break the headphones like a pretzel. It's just like they snap it, and you're like, oh crap.
Oh wow. But that's awesome that you say that, like your comedy, you go with your lifestyle, which is cool. You're not afraid to get in there about family humor and your kids, and you talk about your life, which that's a lot. That's how I am. Being a family man and stuff. What do your family think about your comedy? Do you ever run jokes by your wife or?
I run some by her. So like I wrote a new one.
Yeah.
I talk about one of the new jokes I have. I talk about not wearing my wedding ring, and so it dovetailed into another joke that I was workshopping with some other friends, and then I started to run it, and it was getting a good response. I go, hey, this is work. I normally go with, hey, this is working. And then she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like I've had some pretty straightforward stuff about like jokes at my sister's expense or my my wife's expense. Sorry guys, if it works, it works. So
yeah, exactly. No, it's great when you can, but you know what? I never do this, but I'm going to go put on a YouTube thing for him real quick and be right back. Cause
that's fine.
I don't think Johnny Carson or Jay Leno ever had to do this in their studio, did they? You're a dad. You understand. I'm going to be right back, man.
Yep.
Come here, Ryan. I'm going to put a YouTube video.
I don't know. I guess I'm just supposed to talk to you guys. Driving podcast. Parenting is a good choice. You should always think about parenting. If not, you'll just have so much free time. Anyway, driving out to the Comedy Shrine while you're tuning in. The Comedy Shrine every first Wednesday of the month. You can come see the Anti-Boss at 8 p.m. So there's often free donuts if you show up on.
Hey, man.
So,
I'm sorry about that.
I
hope. All right.
You're fine.
You do your thing, and then we'll get back into it. I'm sorry about that, dude. But you understand. You're a dad. Kids are hilarious, man. Have they ever interrupted you in a very important thing before?
I'm luckily. They've only walked in on one show, and it was fine. Like, it wasn't like the end of the world.
No, of course not.
Because of the virtual backgrounds change everything. Like, the fact that I was able to have a virtual background, no one would really tell that he was approaching. But they saw me slap my hand real.
Right.
So.
Exactly. No, it's great. It's awesome, dude. No, I love it, man. Yo, we're gonna go into a segment right now. It's called Ragu's Hot Sauce Seat. All right, and these are basically random questions that I've asked everybody, and they've kind of changed over time. But I think I have the questions now that I asked everybody, the same questions. You ready? And whatever comes to the top of your mind, you just say. It's some of these questions have been asked by Amazon and Facebook, like in interviews. So don't be intimidated by them. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
You ready, Mike? All right.
I'm gonna be honest. The internet connection was terrible, so I'm not exactly sure what type of questions you're gonna ask, but I'll be fine.
Oh,
we're doing pretty good.
You'll be fine. All right, here we go. Number one. All right. Name something you can do with a pencil besides write with it.
Something I could do with a pencil besides write with it. I could use it to rip open some packaged frozen pizzas.
That's awesome. That's a first. That is. Wow, I like that answer. It's really creative, man. Like, that's, I don't know how this box is that this pizza came in, but like you got to rip it open with a pencil. But that is one use. That is true. All right, here we go. If you had to choose between flying or invisibility, which superpower would you go for?
100% invisibility.
Yeah, why's that?
I see how well I drive, so flying could only get worse. But I think I would like to be able to just get out of situations. I would not use invisibility for anything terrible or anything like a manipulation of power. I would like to just randomly someone turns around and I just left a terrible conversation. It would be great to just be like, no, I'm out. See ya.
Right.
And like, well, I was, gonna finish that really crappy story. No.
That's awesome, man. Yes, it would get you out of situations pretty good. That is true. All right, here we go. Name 3 items you would buy at a Walgreens or a CVS that would make the cashier really uncomfortable with what you bought.
Okay. Lip gloss. That's always got things being covered. Lip gloss, barbecue sauce, and a loofah.
A loofah. Loofahs are fun, but with barbecue sauce and lip gloss, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know where the hell I'm going with that. I'm a little creeped out myself. So
That's the point of the question. I mean, it's pretty cool. I like it. All right, name a comic, dead or alive, who you would want to have an hour-long conversation with.
It would be Seinfeld. I think.
Nice.
I think it would be easily him. I know there's so many others that are up there and great, but for me, he was so influential to me. So.
Nice. Here's a follow up. What do you think you would ask him if you wanted to ask anything, like anything, piece of advice from him? What would you ask?
Oh, I think I would. I think I think it would be about refining the writing process because
Okay.
I think his writing process was meticulous. So I
Yeah.
think the self-editing, how he self-edited before he would go from notebook to even an
Right.
open mic. Like it would be
Right.
great to see how he would weed something out. I know
Nice.
people write in like what is it, like the Woody Allen style of writing where you write every other line and then you cross out what's not funny.
Yeah.
But I would be curious about his editing.
Cool. That's great. That's great. Especially, yeah, his writing is meticulous. He takes a long time with each word. He doctors it to no end, and I love his writing style. Love it. Um, what um, what would your autobiography be called?
Um, oh man. I don't know. I can't even think of like if I put out an album, what it would be called. Probably it took long enough.
It, I like that. That's nice. Yeah, that's very creative. That's good. I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, if there was a movie about you, who would you want playing you?
Well, I say this just on the small chance that a couple of friends and my sister are watching, and there have been people after shows that say I look like a celebrity, and I do not agree, but I uphold it just to annoy them. So some people have said that I have a Ryan Reynolds vibe, so I'm okay with
That's what
that.
I. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yes, I see
See?
that.
All right, I'm adding you to the list. You're like, I'm over. It's enough people where, like, I'll take a picture with them. And I'll text my sister, and I'll be like, he thinks that I look like Ryan Reynolds, and then she'll be like, shut up.
That's awesome. Nah, but I see that, man. All right, you're on a boat. There's a nun, an old man, and a baby on the boat with you. But there's only room for three of you, so you got to push one of them off the boat. They're not going to make it. Who are you pushing off the boat? The nun, the old man, or the baby?
I'm gonna go with the old man.
Okay. All
I'm gonna
right.
push the old man off. Look, I mean, one, he's an old man. He's lived a full life, right?
Yeah.
Odds are he's already, dipped into Social Security, so we should get him off that.
Nice.
and then secondly, part of being a nun is, going through some pretty tough times. So a nun's gonna be stranded at sea. She's not gonna really complain.
That's true. That is true. I've heard. Yep, the old man I've gotten before. Same reason. Usually, I lived the whole life. I've had the baby before too. People wanted to push the baby off. Like exact opposite reason. Like hey, they're still haven't started yet. Why? It's all good. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I've had people say they'll jump off, save the other three.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yep, I heard that.
But
right,
what if in that scenario I actually achieved my life goal and have a boat? What if it's my boat? Then I would
that's
feel
true.
responsible.
That is true. Yeah. It's all about how you view your life and your choices, and it says a lot, Mike. Says a lot. You like pushing old people out. We know. We got it. We got it. No, it's cool. I love your answers. All right. If you can invite three comedians to your summer barbecue, who are you inviting?
I would invite Chappelle easily. I would invite Chappelle, Chris Rock, and
I think he would have a lot of wisecracks and stuff at your barbecue. Probably.
Yeah, I might. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I can. Bill Murray doesn't count. Bill Murray's more of an actor than a comedian. So yeah, that would be fine. Man, I'll take those three.
That's
I'll take
cool.
those three.
That's cool. That's great. That's great. They're probably a lot of fun at a barbecue. That is true. All right, Netflix series you would recommend? Quick.
With my kids, we're watching Jurassic Park, Camp Cretaceous.
That's an awesome one.
It's good.
Yeah.
They still have people, even though it's not for like little kids, being eaten by dinosaurs. It's great. So.
My son loves that show. He loves dinosaurs. Right? Have you guys been to the one at the Fox Valley Mall? They got a dinosaur thing going on.
Yeah, I saw it. I drove by it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. All right, man. Last question: ragu or Prego?
Oh, ragu every day of the week.
Yes. Very cool, man. Love it. Hey, what do you have anything to plug? Do you want to talk about? I know you have Anti-Boss tonight, right? At 8:00.
Tonight, 8:00 at the Shrine in Fox Valley Mall. I'm in my parking space. I'm safe now.
Yes.
So if you can't make it out tonight because you're whatever reason your ball still has a layer. Next month it'll be the first Wednesday. At 8:00. I'm up in Lake Geneva at the Bottle Shop on the 18th. There's two shows, 6 and an 8, and those are fun shows. Those are really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, those. And I'm doing some other wonders out of the area, but yeah. So.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you one last thing. What are your goals in comedy? Where do you see yourself the next few years? Where is it taking you?
I would like to make sure the Anti-Boss is a consistent performing show, every month. Like, I'd like to have it in multiple theaters, so I've taken the steps on that. I'd like to be a working comic, really. If I got into writing, that would be great. But I'd like to be a working comic. So, but
definitely.
I don't think that's doable when you got kids who need health insurance. So. It just doesn't work. So I'll probably have to go into screenwriting if I want to feel it change the next few years.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Hey, it's been wonderful talking to you. So great to connect with you. And you've had a lot of success already, and I wish you all the luck. And hopefully, I would love one day, maybe we could be on a show together. Maybe that'll happen sometime. Okay. That'll be awesome. But so great to see you again, man, and good luck tonight. And everybody out there, watch the Anti-Boss. Go to the Shrine. It's the first Wednesday of every month. So, and then what's your Instagram and your Twitter, or what are you on?
I'm on. Yeah, it's all of them are the Mike Maxwell. So Instagram and Twitter. So
okay, at the Mike Maxwell. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was great to see you. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you too, man. I'm glad you're safe. You're in a parking spot. Good luck with your show tonight, and we'll talk again soon, man. Take care.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That was Mike Maxwell. Oh my God, that guy's hilarious. Please go out and see him whatever chance you get. Next week, the 9th, next Wednesday actually, my guest will be Jamie Little, the owner of Mojo's, a really awesome Cajun restaurant in downtown Plainfield, Illinois. So you definitely don't want to miss out eating there. You're going to meet her next week. This has been Talking Funny. My name is Raghu Adibala. Thank you and good night.